It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. You got the guy in an abdominal stretch and you grab the rope for extra leverage. Then you get a concussion from the angry rush and you get paid with a diet soft beverage. Pepsi Blue, it's the hardest part of the ring. Hey, the hardest part of the ring. One more. Sometimes you're distracting that referee because the babyface has your wrestler pinned. Then you get punched in a ring apron and you realize all the trouble you're in on the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. Clap, clap, clap. What's going on, Bob Squad? Recording the hardest part of the ring. My neighbors are talking too loud. And I see the irony of me mad that they're talking too loud. So I can record a podcast. Clap, clap, clap. The hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Whoa. Yay. What is going on, Bob Squad? What's the skinny? What's the scuttlebutt? Have you been flim-flam, shim-shammed, hoodwinked, or bamboozled? Tell me in the comments. No, it's too early for that. Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant. No, it's too early for that. What are we talking about? The Hulu edition. The Hulu edition. WWE Monday Night Raw, May 16, 2022. Not limited enough commercial interruption. And the hardest part of the ring is brought to you by Wild Cherry Dr. Diet Pepsi. Dr. Pepsi. It's late. I am tired, guys. I just bought this gimmick for my door to keep the lizards out because I'm having problems with my lizards. I had to kick another one out today, and I had a bad one 3 weeks ago with a super long tail. They're turning the color of my carpet in front of my eyes, and it's freaking me out. I got weird little demon shadows now. So I bought this gimmick at Walmart with these styrofoam rods on each side. You put it under your door, and it's in a furry little pouch, and you got to cut it 4 times to make it shorter and shorter and shorter. And I can't really get it under the screen door, but I can get it under the front door, which is good enough. It's really designed to keep out like a draft, to keep cold air or maintain temperature or whatever the hell. But I think it's thick enough to do to keep the lizards out. We're going to find out tomorrow, I guess. Because I don't get a lizard in here every day that I know of. And that's the thing. Who the hell knows? But I'm hoping that does the trick. It seems pretty solid. I just was on my knees for like a half an hour. And it hurts. I got no cartilage in my knees, Chris Mewa. I got no cartilage in my knees. It's so painful. And I don't like it. And it makes me sad because I'm 42 and it hurts to be down on the floor for too long. And then I don't like it. I don't like that feeling. This will prevent the draft at the very least and prevent the grass from being blown in when the Wednesday morning landscapers come around for the apartment complex. So that's good, but mainly I need to keep the lizards out. I don't really care about a couple of pieces of grass and the draft. I could give a shit about a little draft coming into the apartment. San Diego, alright, it's not a big deal. We can use a little extra draft. But the lizards. So we're going to find out. It'll take a few weeks. Time will tell. Time will tell. You never know. You never know. Mark Bubba Hicks line. You never know. This is my grandmother used to say. She's dead because she used to be alive, in the past, but now she's the opposite. Pulled a 180 on us, but she fell down the stairs and got brain cancer. Well, I don't think that came from. I don't think the brain cancer came from falling down the stairs. I think she was just really freaking old. But anyway, she would always say, "You never know. You never know, Robbie. You never know, Robbie." He called me Robbie, of course. I wasn't Bob till I was 13 or 14. I kept it out of spite. My mother said it would never stick, so I've kept it for more than half my life now, just to win. It's a fun fact. I was always Robbie. You never know, Robbie. You don't know. Maybe I do know. Why do you gotta treat me like a fucking moron, Grandma? I didn't fall down those steps. Ah, Jesus. What are we talking about? Monday Night Raw. Sorry. The Hulu edition. This is an interesting Raw because there is a big news story that broke during this Raw. Sasha Banks and Naomi, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. What did they do? In real life, not in storyline, as they say, in real life, they walked out. They walked out shortly before a live broadcast. And a bunch of the show had to be rewritten. Pretty much anything involving the women, with the exception of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, anything involving the women had to be rewritten. So Asuka, Becky, Bianca, Belair, all their stuff had to be moved around, and that is bad because you have a lot of main event talent that just got shoved all over the place, and after being there all day, getting down pat what they're doing, now all of a sudden they don't have anything and they're live. How much can I get away with saying here? Okay. The internet is all in favor of Sasha and Naomi, supports them 100%, loves them, loves them, loves them. They could do no wrong because the women's tag division was never really booked well or booked right in everyone's opinions, and I can't argue with you too much, but that makes it okay to throw your belt on the desk of the talent relations guy and walk out. No, it doesn't. I don't care how badly the women's tag team division was booked. I don't give a shit. I don't care if the entire... Look around. Oh, the women's tag team division's written poorly? Hey, ladies, it's a 3-hour show. What part do you think's written well? Okay? God damn. That's like you went to a horse farm and you only stepped in some shit. And you're like, oh my god, I can't believe some shit that I stepped in. There's shit everywhere. Morons. Not good, not professional. I don't care what anyone says. And Twitter made it about race. Okay, you morons. Because they're two women of color. Well, the WWE Raw Women's Champion is African American. It doesn't really matter. Becky, Doudrop, and Rhea are immigrants to America. Even though they are white, they are from Ireland, Scotland, and Australia, respectively. I forget if Rhea's Australian or or New Zealand. I think it's Australia. So, Doudrop, Nikki ASH is she's an immigrant from Scotland as well. So, Alexa Bliss is from Ohio. That really doesn't matter right now. My point is, it has nothing to do with race. Everyone's saying, well, gee, I wonder why Steve Austin and CM Punk and Tony Storm, when they quit out of nowhere, why it was okay. Gee, I wonder why. It's not racial, is it? Okay, idiots. Let's go over those. Steve Austin owns that he shouldn't have walked out in 2002, and he still brings it up all the time, even though we never do, and still says he regrets doing that. Okay? So Austin owned up, and he was he's the star that Sasha Banks thinks she is. Austin owned up to it. CM Punk still gleefully owns it, quite frankly. Boasts about it, so you can't get him there. And plenty of people give shit on CM Punk. His haters shit on him all the time for that. And Tony Storm was not at a live show, requested her release legally, and it was granted. So Tony Storm's name should never enter this conversation again. So I don't know what to tell you. That leaves you with Austin Punk. Austin owns it. Punk owns it, but happily. And for those who say, hey, Charlotte and Becky, the two white women, they were having a backstage argument, and Charlotte dropped the belt in that segment a month ago, whatever it was, and that was really unprofessional. You are correct, that was unprofessional. Do you know what she didn't do? Leave them with no main event and walk out when we're going live and screw over the entire show and staff and talent. Who has to be the talent has to be the face of these debacles, and it hurts way more people than a few wrestlers. But I'm sticking to that. I know firsthand it affects and ruins the days of a lot more people than just the wrestlers. So your arguments make no sense. You just want to hate WWE, and I don't blame you. Because them and Vince have been kind of evil, and they've been giving us crap for a lot of years. But right is right, and these two, not right, in my humble opinion. So, amidst the chaos, despite all of the fighting, all of the craziness going on, things being rewritten, an Irish guy interviews an Irish lady again at the last minute. What is happening? Panda, oh no wait, that was Adam Pearce. Where is the Irish guy? I don't know. We lost the Irish guy. Go find him. Is he sick? Is he injured? I don't know. Amidst all the craziness, we opened the show with Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant. Who knew? We all knew. Let me take a swig of wild cherry Diet Pepsi for just a second. Oh, that is good. I'm reading the nutrition facts on the Diet Pepsi Wild Cherry, and it says contains 0% juice. Well, fuck me. Because I thought this shit was loaded with just organic nature's nectar all over the place. Glad we cleared that shit up. So Hogan slams Andre. John Cena's voice is soothing. And these boots are made for walking, apparently. So we set up, we do a long package. Bobby Lashley has a huge long package. He's like the human tripod. Omos has a giant package. Might as well be like drilling for oil with that thing, I bet. And MVP has a colossal package as well. Are you done, Bob? So we set up a steel cage match. And then we have a steel cage match. Bobby Lashley wrestles Omos for the third time, and hopefully the final time ever. And hopefully Omos wrestles for the final time ever. Lashley was great here. He looked good here. Big muscles, just glistening muscles. You just want to gently touch him with your fingertip. Lashley looked great here. Huge package. Cedric Alexander jumps out Bobby Lashley out of nowhere. Doesn't really do much. This is the best of their three matches, Omos and Lashley, because, in my opinion, it was the shortest and had the most bells and whistles, and that is what you need. Short. Bells and whistles, smoke and mirrors, laser light show, sleight of hand, okay? Misdirection, if you will. And so at some point, Cedric climbs the cage for who knows what reason and gets thrown off of it and takes a big bump. And everyone yells. MVP keeps taking his big, long, black walking stick and poking it through the cage. What were you? Stop it. And poking Lashley in the eye, the throat, or the ear. I don't know, up his nose. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Flossing his teeth. Who the hell knows? And they did the spot they did a couple years ago with Brock and Roman in Saudi Arabia at one of the Blood Money shows. So they pretended they never saw it before, which is not true. They also did it with Umaga. They've done it with Bobby Lashley before. Okay, that spot. With Umaga in the cage in 08, 07, one of those stupid things. That wacky CW sci-fi show ages ago. Anyway, Omos picks up Lashley, hits him into the cage, and the piece of the cage, conveniently, that would fall into the entrance ramp and not the people. But thankfully, that falls, so Lashley falls through the cage and is able to roll over and put both feet on the floor and win the match. Technically, a couple of goofy things. I don't hate this because I've given up and it had enough bells and whistles to be watchable. And with the idealistic, with the hope that this never happens again with these two, I forgave it. I didn't like Bobby Lashley. I didn't like Omos needing to have an out to lose to the babyface, God forbid. Especially the huge, muscular, powerful babyface. But I think the bigger thing was not just the finish, the execution of the finish. Lashley laid there for 3 days. And Omos stood there and did nothing and stared at him for 3 days with a dumb look on his face, which I assume is his default look. And eventually Lashley puts MVP stands there looking at both of them, turning his head to the right, to the left, to the right and the left like he's watching the goddamn Wimbledon tennis tournament. He's waiting for one of them to do something. Lashley eventually rolls over and wins the match. LOL. Before this match, they had a graphic of the 6 women for a 6-woman scramble gauntlet, whatever the hell. That's not going to happen. So that was that. Becky Lynch is Irish, and she's talking to Adam Pearce, who is not Irish to the best of my knowledge. He is texting on his mobile device. And Becky said the tag champs, they took their bags and left. They took their bags and left several times. And Adam Pearce is annoyed, and he's texting, which he's supposed to be working, so I don't understand. But anyway, he tells Becky something. She's got to wrestle Asuka later tonight. Okay, there you go. So that was that. And this wasn't half bad. This sounded more believable than most of their pre-rehearsed backstage shit, because I'm taking an educated guess that this one was done live, and they had one take and they had to be as natural about it and just worry about the one main piece of information instead of a bunch of shit people wrote down and changed 8 times anyway to make it confusing. Blah, 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 blah. Riddle wrestles an Uso, and an Uso is on the outside, and that Uso is kicked out by the referee, so other Uso is rolled up in a small package by Riddle. I fast-forwarded to the finish, and I like these two guys just fine. It's the same match every week syndrome. I guess on SmackDown they're having the RK Bro Usos unification. They're going to do that on TV, which is fine with me. I have no complaints. Make SmackDown feel bigger. Go right ahead. I got no issues there. I think the Usos are winning it. I think this is just going to... The Usos don't need it, because they're going to be in... If they win, when they win the double championship thing, they'll be in the exact same spot as they were today. Whereas RK Bro just takes away from them. You know what I mean? So... I think almost definitely Usos win it, and to put maybe the theory is to put more heat on Roman for, I guess Riddle will be the keep him busy guy for a month. That's what they were setting up with the knee to the face on SmackDown from Riddle to Roman. And are they still interested in Drew and Roman again? It seems like they were. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I'm not looking forward to Usos beating him. I hope I'm wrong. Pardon me. I burped out my wild cherry diet Pepsi. I can't say that today. So there you go. So Russo, and that's the other Russo. So Riddle, well, I don't want Russo on this show. Good God, he thought it was bad before. Riddle beats an Uso, which also makes me think the Usos win on Friday, because everything's 50-50. No one is over. Liv Morgan is talking to the Irish guy. That's who was talking to an Irish guy. Liv Morgan was. And then handsome Los Lotharios guys, they show up from SmackDown for some reason. I guess they're going to wrestle AJ Styles and Finn Balor. So AJ and Finn can tag and have someone to beat before they do whatever they continue to do with the Blue Light Special. Anyway, AJ and Finn want Liv to join the group they just made up. And she says, I don't know. Well, that's riveting. The Blue Light Special is next in a backstage thing. Edge is sitting on the throne, LOL, and he's taking a dump. Okay, Bob, you didn't need to go that far. And we knew it was going to be Priest says 2 things and does a fake laugh, and Rhea says something, does a fake laugh, and Edge talks for way too long. Everyone does a fake laugh. Like they just bought an orphanage and they're going to put up a parking lot. Finn Balor and AJ Styles beat the handsome Mexican guys, and Los Lotharios, Humberto Carrillo, and Angel Garcia. What the hell is Angel's last name? Angel, who cares? They probably took it away anyway. So the 2 Mexican guys sexually assault a female fan on the way to the ring, sort of, not really. They do their own kiss cam thing like they do at real sporting events. And they do these at WWE live events. Yeah. They'll find couples and, have them give each other COVID in front of everybody. But they found some lady who was, they found an attractive lady by herself at a pro wrestling show. So, gee, that looks real. And I'm assuming she was an NXT student or something, and at the same time they both give her a kiss on the cheek, and she acts blown away like this is the greatest moment of her life. So, whatever. I did like Corey Graves putting it over. I'll mention Corey Graves again at the end of this too, by the way. About the Sasha whatever thing. What happens? The good guys beat the bad guys in the tag team match. This was a very good tag team match. Looked like two teams trying to win. Finn and AJ, great chemistry together as a team. I liked them. They did tag team maneuvers, and we don't see them tag ever. But I don't think they had too much tag team coordination for a first time tag team. But they had enough. Like, it was smart. And those two are pros. There's nothing they can't do. So, and in there are two talented young guys too. So, very good tag team match. I enjoyed it. Liv Morgan joins them and does the click hand signal Bullet Club thing. So Liv Morgan is part of their group. Liv Morgan is officially the greatest Bullet Club member of all time. No arguments. Alexa Bliss enters the ring as she should for her match, which is where it takes place. Alexa Bliss is new music, so you know she's winning. And then she wrestles Sonya Deville. Where's my notebook? How did I? Where are my notes? I think I took notes in two different books. Well, this is going to be fun. Alexa Bliss. She beats Sonya Deville in a wrestling match. This one is longer than the two-move one from last week. Sonya, of course, gets more offense, but Alexa beats her anyway, and I'm not sure where all that is going. This is a very bland, boring. I found my. Apparently, I wrote this in two different notebooks that look alike. I found my other notes. No, wait, that's last week's. So what the hell? Did I just give up taking notes? Who the hell cares? Show was stupid. I can remember what happened. Alexa beats Sonya Deville. Okay, very good, very good, very good. And then Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, cuts another great promo. He's getting a little cutesy and artsy with the language. He had a lot of alliteration with purgatory, with pandemonium, something, something. He said Seth is not there, but then Seth cuts a promo on the video screen in what looks to be a backstage hallway, but Seth never came out. But Becky is in the next segment, so Seth and Becky are still together. This leads me to believe Seth was there, because he's coming from satellite in some other fucking part of the building. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I watched the Cody part, and when Seth came on, I just fast forwarded. The gist of it is Cody challenged Seth to wrestle him at Hell in a Cell, whenever that is, and that is that. So there you go. There you go. Our main event. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything else. Of course not. There's no wrestlers there anymore. Our main event, Asuka wrestles Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair as on commentary. Bianca skips to the ring. Her skirt is really up there. Forgive me, but she was pulling it down a few times. Sweet mother of pearl. But anyway, yeah, Bianca and Becky. I'm surprised they had Becky wrestle on free TV and for this long. Bianca and Becky were having a good match. I was a little worried in the first few minutes. I'm like, this isn't quite mixing. But it was mostly Asuka's offense, and I like Asuka's offense because she's snug but not stiff, as Stone Cold likes to say. She lays it in, but she's not doing the Japanese strong style bullshit. She's just laying it in, making it look good, and she does. She lets you know he got touched. And Becky can work. Becky can sell. Becky's thinner every week. Good God! I mean, it didn't. Yeah. Like, if you don't know that one of them's supposed to be the huge star, then it's like, it looks like, oh, geez, because Asuka's not pencil thin. She has some meat on the bones, and she knows how to throw a little bit of that weight around. But I'd marry her today. I don't give a fuck. But no, she looks good though. But she smashes Becky around, and Asuka's athletic. She's fast too. I think she doesn't get enough credit for that. People think about the strikes and all the shit, but she's very fast. So Becky eventually resorts to taunting Bianca at ringside. Bianca, of course, they do the thing where Becky throws what the hell's her name, Asuka, into Bianca, and Becky's hoping Bianca hits her so that Becky wins by DQ because the winner of this gets to wrestle Bianca at the Hell in a Cell. And there's confusion, there's pandemonium, there's chaos, there's tomfoolery, there's lollygagging, there's horseplay, there's roughhousing. And Becky tries to use Asuka's umbrella thing, which Asuka never uses as a weapon or draws attention to. But the mist is back, the green mist. Asuka shoots the green mist into Becky's eyes, and Becky has green goop in her face and in her hair, and it's supposed to be in her eyes, but it's close enough. It just has to be in the ballpark, and you sell it. But that's happening, and then, Becky took the mist, and I think probably like a kick or something after that, and Asuka got the pin, and Becky got pinned on free TV, and I raised an eyebrow. That would not have happened had that 6-woman gauntlet thing taken place. I don't even think she's supposed to be in it. I forget. Yeah. And of course, Becky has to have the out to lose, but whatever. Again, nobody beats anybody. So Becky's going to beat the shit out of Asuka next week, is what makes the most sense, or something. And really, they can make the damn thing a 3-way at any time. Because the two baby faces are going to fight, and all the heat's on Becky. So, and Becky's the biggest star. So I really wouldn't be surprised if they don't even bother with a singles Asuka-Bianca match and just do the 3-way with Becky. It's entirely possible. And then Asuka can take the pin so Bianca can keep it. And blah, 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 blah. Asuka was there to take a lot of pins and a lot of Rhea Charlotte Asuka 3-ways just last year, so give the stars the one you're building and the one who's established. Give them both an out, and no one will ever get over, but whatever. Make your money. I don't care. Corey Graves, real quick. I am not a fan, but people on Twitter, because Corey had to make the 3-second announcement, Sasha Banks and Naomi left. They were just unprofessional and kind of took off, and now we got to carry on. And all of a sudden, the internet fans who know this have forgotten that Vince is in his ear telling him what to say. Or Vince is in somebody's ear. Who's in somebody's ear telling Corey what to say, whatever the fuck, however you want to put it. All these internet fans know this information, and they magically forget it because they want to shit on Corey. I don't mind them shitting on Corey. I don't give a fuck about Corey Graves. But fair is fair. All he said was they were unprofessional and took off and they left. It was nothing. It wasn't. It was 3 seconds. It was not a big deal. And all of a sudden now, Corey Graves, according to the internet, he hates all the black women. I'm sure he doesn't. Okay, you're being silly and you're running away with it because you get to be the heroes. And your demon champion Amber Heard looks bad this week, so you need another man to. You need to play the what about game. They do that with Ezra Miller. Amber Heard's evil. Well, what about Ezra Miller? Yeah, he can go to jail with her. But Ezra Miller is recently having shitty breakdowns in Hawaii, getting arrested, and ruining the Flash movie coming up. Amber Heard has a pattern of abusing everyone in her life for years. Physically, not just emotionally. Ezra can go to jail too. But he's on stage 1 of his meltdown. Amber Heard, she's been gleefully her own walking 3 Mile Island. She's her own walking goddamn Chernobyl for your European folks. She's her own Chernobyl for her entire life, and she's only 36 now. So, plus there's evidence and facts. Okay, Bob, are you gonna stay on this? Yeah, I am. Sometimes, guys, right is right. And you gotta stand for something. I could play it safe and go blah, 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 but whatever. There's 12 people listening to this. And I do appreciate each and every one of you. I wouldn't do it otherwise. I assure you that. If I didn't appreciate you guys, I wouldn't continue to do it. I'm glad I did. But Amber Heard strikes me as the type of person who is cruel enough not just to give someone a devastating wrestling maneuver such as a pile driver in the middle of the squared circle, but she would even do it on the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. Hey, the hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da.